the annual reports out to you and the agendas, and then we'll come around again with ballots. The reports have made their way on this side already, and now they're over here. So if you're over on the Broadway side and haven't gotten one yet, you'll have to chase them. Put your hand up, please, if you still need a report. I think we're good for now. And then we'll just take another moment and hand out the ballots, and then we'll start. Yes, that was, here it is, right behind you. Just coming up to you. Let me help you. Take a few of them. Thanks. Just one side each? Great. Hello, hello. How much detail do you want to do into the names? I would just say, hold on. I pull an employee. We've got an official. Does anyone else need a ballot? Because we're about to begin. Okay, thank you for now. Thank you. When it comes time to collect them, we'll give you one more chance to get a ballot if you missed it. Oh, hold on. Let us pray. O God of unchangeable power and eternal light, look favorably on your whole church, that wonderful and sacred mystery. By the effectual working of your providence, carry out in tranquility the plan of salvation. Let the whole world see and know that things which were cast down are being raised up. Things which had grown old are being made new. And all things are being brought to their perfection by him through whom all things were made, your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God forever and ever. Amen. Well, we welcome everyone together for our annual parish meeting, and I'll have comments to make in just a little bit, but I just want to say I'm really glad to see a great turnout. This is an important part of sharing in our life together, in participating in that governance that is yours to undertake as the laity of the parish. And with that, we want to, as our first order of business, invite you to approve the minutes from our 2024 meeting. Those minutes have been published in the annual report, pages 4 and 5. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at them. They went out a couple days ago electronically. Is there a motion to approve the 2024 minutes? Okay, great. We have a motion from Barb Miller and a second from Jana Gregory. Are there any comments or questions at this time before we vote? All in favor of approving the minutes then? Aye. Great. Thank you. We also have this wonderful annual report, and before I entertain a motion to approve it, I would invite everyone to offer thanks to Gloria Oriana, who works tirelessly. Thank you, Gloria. It's really lovely and thorough, and I really appreciate it too. Is there a motion to approve the annual report for 2024? Carolyn Litzenberger, motion. Is there a second? Second from Ann Wetherell. All in favor then? Aye. Okay, great, wonderful. Before the address, I want to move one item up in order, and that is the election. Let's go ahead and complete our ballots for election and turn those in so that our nominating committee has plenty of time to count them. Put your hand up if you need a ballot still, and we'll get one to you. Okay, so we'll just take a couple of minutes while you complete that. Put your hand up if you need a pencil. I think everyone has it.
Pass your ballots in, please.
Anybody else need their ballot collected?
That's good for reading.
Thank you. Okay, last call for ballots.
On your right.
I'll come around.
Okay, last call. Everybody drop off the ballot? Not that we're trying to rush you, Rick.
We'll move into the rector's address, or as I like to call it, the second sermon.
There's a question
Test.
about how to Facebook message.
Message the church, and we'll be checking the message. So just message the Facebook page, or you could email me too if you're watching online and you want. We'll make sure that it gets counted. So 2 verses from our reading today from 1 Corinthians. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in the one Spirit we are all baptized into one body, and we're all made to drink of one Spirit. As I spoke on briefly in my sermon this morning, the first epistle to the church in Corinth was written to a fledgling Christian community struggling to come into its own identity with its own core theological understandings, values, organizing principles, and commitments, and situated within a secular society that was based on an extreme hierarchy and order. that was based on exercise of power. We're talking about empires. So there's a contrast there. There's a challenge as they were seeking to form the community. There was one overarching problem that continues to crop up in this letter and in 2 Corinthians. It seemed to plague this church more than anything else. It was disagreement and division. Factions were prone to form and silos to be erected, spurred by a host of differences of opinion and experiences. In the passage we read today, we learned there has become a habit among that church for giving preference to those who have certain qualities and abilities and relegating others as inferior or less desirable or seemingly less useful qualities or abilities, relegating those to less priority, lower importance, marginalizing them and their influence in the community. So in response, Paul lifts up this powerful metaphor for the church as the body of Christ. The image of the body is especially helpful for its layer after layer of complexity and integration. As a metaphor, it doesn't break down easily. And Paul writes, just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the one body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. And this is an image of existential interconnectedness. Members of the community in Christ and with one another. It challenges the basic assumptions underlying all the most divisive and explosive disagreements that crop up in church, then and now. In this understanding, church isn't just another hierarchy, not another hierarchical organization, not a club or even a well-organized service organization. It's not simply a system of gives and takes to keep everybody in and keep everybody in line. It's so much more. The church is a body, a living and breathing and interconnected organism in which even the head cannot survive or function properly without the rest. And yet each part can only thrive when it is functioning fully as its own self, as it was meant to, according to its own gifts and purpose. So if we purpose to grow into this identity of interdependence and interconnectedness, this celebration of diversity and complexity, then what does this mean for us and for specifically for our year ahead? Well, first of all, it means you're probably going to hear a lot about this idea and this theme for the next 12 months at least. It means we will share a lot of time together, listening to one another, honoring one another, building up our capacity to work together. So a few specific things that are happening or about to happen. The strategic vision process is essential to this happening, this becoming. Perhaps more important now than ever as new urgencies arise in the political climate. And that's counterintuitive. It's going to feel at times like there are other things more pressing, and there will be other things more pressing, but they may not be more important. So in the Vision and Strategy Committee that we called and formed in the fall, we have a team of people who are unique to St. Michael's, at least in recent years. It is a truly multicultural and bilingual committee with a true bilingual and multicultural composition representing a broad spectrum of diversity on many levels. While together, the VSC, the Vision and Strategy Committee team, is learning tools to facilitate this process, the committee is also experimenting among ourselves with new ways of being together, communicating, lifting up one another's voices, coming to understanding of divergent experiences. It will help us to walk with the entire parish as we grow into our identity as an interconnected and interdependent body. This call to be a body, honoring and celebrating diversity and complexity and interdependence, which you can just hear with those words, is so countercultural, especially now. It doesn't stop at honoring individuals. It's also about blessing between ministry groups and teams and affinity groups, between commitments, the ones that are in place now and the ones that will emerge and arise as we move forward. St. Michael's engages a wide and wonderful array of ministries within the parish, out in the neighborhood, and up to God in prayer and worship. Our ministries must also come to see one another and honor and respect one another, seeking how we can bless each other and learn from one another around shared resources. It means less defending of territories, less staking out of domains, more listening, more honoring, more building up and blessing one another. Also in the year ahead, our staff community will continue to take a new shape with new calls and hires, as we've already opened the position for a full-time associate rector, as we've welcomed Padre Jesus in an interim capacity to support our community. We said goodbye to our brother JT and our brother Beto to Mexico. As this year we will say farewell to our associate for administration and in that role, in that position, Gloria. All of these transitions will be difficult. It will be difficult to say goodbye as it has been. And I want to just say that Gloria serves in an almost indispensable way in the parish. Yes. Thank you. And in the past year and a half, I've really come to appreciate and rely on Gloria, on your insight and expertise, as I know so many have for such a long time. It will also be disruptive to search for and hire and enfold new colleagues into the ministry team, and it will require patience and trust in one another to navigate all these transitions into a new season. And please know that the way we continue to invest in staff is directly related to my own ability to fulfill my call as rector in the parish. All these wonderful individuals that we should thank as often as we get a chance, Hannah and Brian, Gloria, Leslie, Linnea, Manny, and now Padre Jesus, they all extend our capacity to train, equip, and facilitate everybody in the community for the work that is ours to do, for worship, for connection, for service as a parish. Let's thank all of them. They're wonderful staff. So as we meet additional transitions and we undertake them, the goal is to expand our ability to fulfill our ministry among you and support you as you fulfill your ministry individually and together as a parish. And finally, I'll mention that we will begin talking this year about fundraising and the kind of capital campaign that's necessary to upgrade our HVAC system and efficiencies in the building. These kinds of things are not the sorts of undertakings that happen fast. There's a lot of background work, a lot of planning, and that work begins this year. We have, and you'll see in your report, an antiquated boiler system. We have options for upgrading efficiency and being environmentally aware and good stewards. We have price ranges. I want to thank Carl Braginski and all the members of the facilities committee for hours and hours of research, of work, bringing in bids and getting assessments and quotes. That work continues, but you have a lot of really good information in the report this year because of how much these folks invested in supporting our building, which supports our community. So can we thank Choral and the facilities? So in community with one another, we bring and share all that we are. You're not asked to surrender who you are or put some of it aside. It's an honoring of what each one brings. We learn to offer ourselves for the good of the whole community, even when that means there isn't an immediately apparent place to do our best or favorite things. Patience, relationship, other-focused living for the flourishing of every member and for all of us together. God is calling us in 2025 into this becoming. This is church. It is being the interconnected, interdependent, loving, messy, forgiving, accepting, growing, patient, sometimes 3 steps back and 2 steps forward organism that exists for the sake of Jesus' ministry in the world. And in it all, as I write often, I am with you. And I pray that you are with one another. It's more important than ever. Many and one. Muchos y uno en el Espíritu. In the Spirit. Thank you. I just want to mention that I will be sharing those words in Spanish, in Espanol, on WhatsApp right after the service. So you can, if you're a Spanish speaker primarily, so you can read through the words and understand. So we have an election. Let's see, that comes later, doesn't it? Let's just say it. So we have our elections, and we're really grateful. If you're here today, would you stand? We had 4 nominees for vestry who've been elected: Cheryl Fullerton, Julie Romberg, Tim Shields, and Henry Welch. I know Fabiana is in the room. Would you stand for our Mission Endowment Board? And also Cash Henry was elected. I know Cash is joining us online today. So Cash was also elected. And for a convention delegate, we have 1 opening this year. Marilee Riley was elected, and David Young will serve as the alternate for this year. At this time, I want to invite Dave Riley to come and give the treasurer's report and present the budget, the vestry's approved budget for 2025.
Good morning. So you're all looking for a big plow through a spreadsheet, right? We'll make this as painless as we can today. If I get your annual report includes a good discussion on the performance in our budget in 2024. One thing I would just add to that is I want a round of applause from everybody for your astounding generosity last year. Our pledge income exceeded our estimate by 3 to 4%. That's really good. Unfortunately, our expenses exceeded our estimate also, so we have that to worry about too. Once again, the narrative includes a discussion of that, and I will be available after this meeting to go into any of the detailed numbers that anybody wants to go into. So I'll be really willing to do that. What I would like to talk about is the 2025 budget, and need to get back to the right one here. The pledge income that we have in the 2025 budget is based on the pledge cards that we received, plus a little bit. When we looked at the pledge cards that we got, we found that and we looked at the giving for last year, that not all of the people that were turning in pledge cards were reflected in their giving. And so we were able to make a judicious judgment about maybe bumping it up a little bit. So the pledge income that we included in there is a doable thing, we believe. One thing we did this year also, as we did last year, is on the income section, we showed transfers from our budgeted transfers from the funds. That is kind of like a transparency sort of thing to show you that we are moving money from the funds into our operating budget so that we're utilizing the funds that we have before we start, really asking for a lot more money. And then the budget includes for an interim clergy, Padre Jesus, and for a full-time rector for our Latino ministry and formation. So that money is in there, but we expect that the full-time position won't come on until about halfway through the year, so it's not a full year's salary this year. We also included in the budget a catch-up on some lay pension that we became aware of through the year. So the lay pension numbers on the budget are a little higher than would normally, but that's just a catch-up that we're doing for lay pension. Budget also includes increases for utility and maintenance costs. We have a 100-year-old building, and it doesn't follow budgets very well at all. And that kind of, a building thing gives a chance to talk about where we are, kind of. For those of you who might not know, our dishwasher sanitizer is not working. Okay? And so you might wonder, do we have money in the budget for the dishwasher sanitizer? Not as a line item, we don't. But we can buy a new dishwasher sanitizer. But Vestry, in their last meeting this week, agreed not only to buy a dishwasher, but to do some fundraising around the dishwasher. So what we're going to see is, through this year, is a little fundraising activities associated with the dishwasher. Now, we can see these things maybe play out in other activities throughout the year also. So that's kind of an approach that we're taking to some of the things that we can think we can do some fundraising around. You're going to see us do some fundraising, but this is not the capital fundraising campaign that's going to come on in a few years after we get it all figured out. I also need to say thank you to a couple of people. I don't know whether you're all aware, but with Jackie Van Anda retiring last year, we changed how we're doing our bookkeeping. We now have a contract bookkeeper, a virtual church secretary that does the actual putting numbers in the right columns. And then that information is fed to them through some volunteers that we have. And the mainstay of the finance work is really accomplished by a couple of individuals, Daryl Cole right here and Mike Parent over there. And I just want to hold them up as people. And it happens with Steve Walton in the back over there, and Stephen Rufy in the back also. People are stepping up to fill these spots. And I think just wanted to hold Daryl and Mike up as this. Now, I will be available after this presentation, after the meeting, to dig into any of these numbers that you want to dig into. Thank you.
That really happened faster than I expected it to. So as Dave said, We will, Dave will be we'll meet in Nativity Hall. We'll be up there for questions. We always have this tight window for the 1 o'clock service. We want to be sure to be available for any questions and ideas that you have, want to share. So when we conclude the meeting, we'll be available in Nativity Hall for a bit for more conversation and questions that continue there. I also want to thank, he didn't thank himself, but Dave Riley is he's part of the Holy Trinity that includes Mike Parent and Daryl Cole. But Dave, I mean, just the hours that these three have invested, and they have improved our processes and our systems, and we now have a group of people in the parish who understand how things are connected and how all the pieces of the financial process is wired together. And it's just we couldn't have afforded the hours that they have given us. And so can we just thank them again, and especially Dave. At this time, we're going to skip to, someone's getting the plaque. So at this time, Gloria, you knew I would forget it. Wait, don't skip. Let's do it. Thank you. Do we have a stand? There was one. Oh, we'll just hold it up and just give it. Yeah. Okay, it's that time. So this is the Unsung Heroes of Hope Award, and this is a really interesting conversation that I've now had 2 years with the staff and the wardens about, okay, who is someone in the parish that emphasize on the unsung and that they've just accomplished something that we don't realize and that we might not have known we were going to need it, and they stepped up and filled a gap in a profound way. And there are many folks in our parish who came up in this conversation. I mean, there are lots of heroes in our parish and lots of unsung heroes in our parish from each year. And unfortunately, we have to kind of zero in on somebody or a couple people each year. This is a wonderful individual who, because of the unexpected illness of our brother, JT, right before Christmas, Steve Walton stepped in and began to just show up. He was assisting JT for several years back there at the live stream and the sound booth. And JT was sick and he couldn't be here. And Steve just started showing up each week, and kept so many of us connected. If we're not able to be here very often, if we're traveling, we want to stay connected with our community. A live stream really is a lifeline for so many people. And then when JT died, without any fanfare, without any real effort, Steve just said, well, I think we can put this together. I think we've got people in the parish who might want to enjoy this. And sure enough, we've had folks that he's recruited and trained, and we've got this team, and it's had budget implications because it's the live streaming was a significant cost on the budget. We were able to reallocate those funds, and just things have kind of happened in a sequence. And in large thanks to Steve Walton and being willing to provide leadership. So unsung hero this year is Steve Walton. You want to say something? Yeah, go ahead. You want to see your name? You want to see your name first? It's really true.
The problem is he doesn't know how to use the mic.
The problem is I forgot to turn it on. I don't feel unsung. People have been saying thank you over and over since this began. And for me, Ruthie, to Sundance and Jocko, to William McLaughlin, who helped for a while, and to Tim Sackett, who have all stepped up as well. And to Elizabeth Ruthie, I told her this a few weeks ago. She's the person, I understand, in vestry who said, we got to get some people here to help. And that's when people came to help. So that has been a tremendous help to me. But I retired 2.5 years ago. This, I don't know that it filled the hole, but yes, it filled the hole. But it was something for me to focus on and do and learn about and sweat about and so forth.
So there are so many thank yous. For now, the last thing on the agenda is to thank those vestry members who are completing 3 years of service. So that is, we're getting a whole new class of wardens next year because we're saying goodbye to both junior wardens and senior warden. And Beth Elam, who is always advocating and organizing and supporting in so many ways. And so we invite Sherry O'Brien and Trina Parent and Carl Baginski and Beth Elam to come forward for a thank you. Trina, did you want to say something?
Hello. I just wanted to thank the outgoing vestry members. Sherry O'Brien is always willing to pick up any unanswered request and do it. She's set up the library. She does all the buttons.
I helped.
And John helped, yes, but she's amazing. Carl, I have 2 words for you. Persistent and tenacious. He knows all the people down at City Hall and knows every contractor in town and does not give up. And for Beth, she's been a great presence on our board. She has been training us in information on for the immigration and justice. So she's been a huge help. And I'd like to thank all of you for being an amazing congregation. I have learned so much, and I feel like I feel so connected to everybody now. And to this wonderful man, he's amazing, and we're so lucky for his leadership. Thank you.
So let's sing our closing song, and we'll stand together. Oh. Yeah, this has to be in the minutes, and y'all have to know, if you don't know, we have a wonderful new senior warden. As of today, I'm appointing Ann Wetherell to be our senior warden this year. You want to come forward? And the rest of the officers will be elected at our February meeting, and then we'll announce them. There you go. Sorry, Ann.
Is this on?
I just want to make sure that he announced the next person.
Oh. Well, I want to thank you for being such an amazing senior warden. And so on behalf of the vestry.
Thank you very much. These are gorgeous.
Thank you. The song we'll sing together in English and Spanish is on the back of this yellow sheet. I invite you to stand as you're able, and we will sing.